looks like Chuck's taking the skin boat to Tuna Town.
Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
5 minutes later.
Do you wanna take a life? Do you wanna cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
Now, what I've got here is a scrotum and nothing else.
I learned a long time ago that there's no sense getting all riled up every time a bunch of idiots give you a hard time. In the end, the universe tends to unfold as it should. Plus, I have a really large penis. That keeps me happy.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
The owner always wanted to run away and join the circus when he was a kid. Now son of a bitch owns the circus. Man, real license to steal.
Oh, yeah. The American dream come true, man. Pure Horatio Alger.
Yeah, welcome to the happy place.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here, man. How much for the ape?
Thank you. Let's do it again. You're wonderful. You're wonderful. Man, you guys don't want to hear what's going on behind the scenes. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching the video. If I have to do it for the love of the game, fuck it. I'll do it for the love of the game. Fucking Warner Brothers. Can't wait till they sell. Rat bastards. I hope Ellison comes in with a MAGA hat and goes, "You're fired. You're fired. You're fired." Well, James Gunn's going to be fired. There's no doubt about that. James Gunn is cooked. DCU is dead in its second movie. But as Razorfist pointed out on Twitter, can something be alive or something be dead that was never alive? Man, I screwed that up. I did a lot of streaming yesterday. I need to recharge my battery, guys. I need to put my helmet on and go back down to the streaming mines. Yesterday, I played mixtape. And that game is awful. And I have to finish it. I made a blood oath to finish this piece of shit, and wow. It's indescribable. It's a game that was supposed to be, according to Mahler, supposed to be about the 80s. That's why they called it mixtape. Then they moved it to 1999, where it opens up somebody making a mix CD, but it's still called mixtape. And then they go back to mixtapes. But the thing is, I mean, my memory is not as good as it used to be. There were still cassette tapes around in 99, but not many. So I'm following this lesbian around as she's crushing on another girl, and she's about to go to college in New York. And it's just walking around a room so far, picking up items and going into lesbian crushing flashbacks of no consequence. It's not really a game, chat. You're right. It's not really a game. So there's that. Then Forbidden Frontier. Then we talked about House of the Dragon episode 2, which that show's kind of a mess. That show is kind of a mess. There'll be moments that are cool and good, and then they're intermixed with like some of the dumbest writing you could possibly think of, and just dumb decisions, irrational decisions, or impossible decisions. Yeah. Pour one out for Otto. F's in the chat for Otto. They bring him back for one scene to lop his head off. Is that Batman casting official? Gary, did you see Campia coping over the new Batman casting? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they ran out and cast Batman immediately because they need to do something. They need to put up the bat signal, baby. And I think it's too late. I think it's too late. They can cast Batman all day long. Could you imagine a James Gunn Batman movie? Good Lord. It would make the 66 series look serious, which, I mean, full disclosure, when I was like a 6-year-old watching that shit was serious. Okay. That was serious. So, yeah, I guess we'll go over the box office. I'm sure we have some more clear box office news. I'm going to my subjects. I spent the morning dealing with some copyright claims. It kind of turned out okay. So, not optimal, but okay. Good enough. And, let's see what we got here. Oh, there's a plethora of subjects. Oh, there's the weekend box office for Supergirl. You can tell how much prep I made. And there is a lot of lamenting over the DCU. Tom Brittany as Batman. Tom Brittany as Batman. I saw pictures of him. It's like I don't know how the guy's acting is. I can't say I remember him in anything. And of course, somebody's blaming misogyny for the failure of Supergirl, and it's as I predicted in May. It's the Charlie's Angels meme. This wasn't men. This wasn't made for you. Why didn't men show up to our movie? Well, the thing is, men did show up. 60% of them showed up. Who the fuck is Tom Brady? I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I don't know. But yeah, the 60% of the audience was men, as it always is for a superhero movie. That's pretty much a solid number. With the one exception being the first Aquaman movie, when Jason Momoa was a little more svelte. Okay. And listen, I ain't judging the guy. Okay. We all get older. It's all good. And that was just a different time. You could, Mueller mentioned it yesterday. You could crap out a superhero movie and it'd do pretty well for the most part. Imagine Aquaman. Somebody brought it up yesterday. Aquaman is the best performing DCU movie. That makes no sense. It's the one I can remember the least out of the first bunch of Zack Snyder DCU. It's not even close to my favorite. Yes, I like Man of Steel. I like as Elseworlds movies that would never argue that they were good. I like the extended Batman versus Superman, except for some really retarded moments. And I don't like Ezra Miller and didn't like Lex. And I like the Snyder Cut. And I didn't like the same things in the Snyder Cut that I didn't like in Batman versus Superman. But I will never, ever, ever argue that they are high art in any way, shape, or form. And if you think they totally suck, I'm not even going to argue with that. Trying to think. Wonder Woman, I thought was okay, and I've never watched it again. Aquaman, I thought it was okay. I've never watched it again. But guilty pleasure, I've watched Batman versus Superman like more than I care to admit as a background movie. The first standalone Joker, I'm going to be real, was ruined for me with Joker 2. If I hadn't seen Joker 2, I would still love that movie. I saw Joker 2. Fuck them both. Of Batman Superman, the Ultimate Edition. That's right. Ultimate Edition. Listen, Zack Snyder's done some good movies. He has. I love Watchmen. The 4-hour super duper pooper cut. I watched that one quite a bit. That opening is great. The opening of that. It's the only time I've ever really enjoyed Bob Dylan music. There's Real Life Fake Wizard. What's up? Joker 2 retroactively killed Joker 1 forever. It did. It did. I can't watch that movie ever again because I know where it leads. It leads to Brendan Gleeson raping him in prison. Like, what? Oh, and he was never the Joker. He was the pre-Joker. Hail, fake wizard. Hail, fake wizard. But yeah, it's going to be a crazy summer, but let's get right to it. We will be doing some squaring up today. This will have to be a two-parter because I can't sit here for 4 hours. I'm sorry. I wish I could, but we got stuff to do. So we're going to do another one Thursday. So we're going to do a little bit of, we're going to do Friday Night Heights and some House of the Dragon from last night. But first, let's go to, I really got to get some new monitors. I've got my tiny travel monitors and I'm blind as hell. Oh my God. So it's official. Yes, I'm laughing. We are laughing. Oh, you couldn't have written a better script by Anna Nagoya or not going to work anymore. Yeah. Oh, what? Comcast to split NBC Universal and Sky Media business from Tech. Oh, okay. I don't give a fuck. It's just more corporate shell games. Toy Story 5 posts 70 million in second week. I'm guessing that's just domestically. And Supergirl doesn't fly. Oh, man. You know what? They all stopped using SOAR. They all stopped using SOAR, you bitches. Supergirl soars, SORES, to $38 million opening. It didn't even hit 40 in the U.S. Oof. Well, as they said in that movie that Real Fake Wizard and I were just talking about, that we won't watch again. You get what you fucking deserve. Sunday AM, Toy Story 5 reigned supreme in the second weekend, not just in the U.S. with 70 million, but around the world with a 159.1 worldwide take, raising Disney Pixar's pick cum to 585 million stateside. Jesus, the Andrew Stanton movie is less than 3 million from hitting the 3-century mark. Okay. Toy Story 5's second weekend hold of 56%, pretty good, is spot on with that of The Incredibles 2, which sucked. Absolutely sucked. Fuck that movie. Incredibles. Oh, fuck. I don't even want to read about Incredibles 2. Let's get to Supergirl. Meanwhile, Warner Brothers DC Studios, run by James Gunn and Peter Safran, Supergirl became even more challenged overnight with a $10.7 million Saturday, 41% down from Friday in previews, which is turning into a $38 million domestic opening. Again, this isn't the lowest 3-day start for a DC title. Oh my God, you're trying. It's not the lowest. It's still really low and a massive flop, but it's not the lowest. But it's not good for a cosmos hopping movie that cost 170 to 186 million. So now Deadline is reporting 186 million. It'll be more. We will find out because it was filmed in the UK. Net before global spend, Supergirl's stateside start is lower than Disney Marvel's lowest. The Marvel. It's lower than the Marvels. I got to make sure I hit the right button. Nope. There you go. And it's god awfully close to that DC disaster Joker Folie à Deux. Worldwide was horribly low with a $68 million launch. More on that later. The only nice thing to say about Supergirl is that she did very well in premium format screen. Well, who doesn't? All the tickets cost more. With 51% of her gross coming from IMAX, which she will be kicked out of immediately. The Craig Gillespie movie that totally wasn't supervised by James Gunn was shot for IMAX. It was? Wait a minute. It was shot for IMAX. And the exhibitor says that with a near 20% share of the weekend, it's the highest opening weekend indexing of any superhero movie in IMAX. What? Based on what? Based on what? Bullshit. If that's the case, all the more reason for more premium format screens so movies can make more money. Hey guys, if we charge the customer, for which there are fewer of, more money, we can make more money. Yeah, source, trust me, bro. That's the source, chat. That's the source. Trust me, bro. Global IMAX take for Supergirl was 10.9 million, with 3.5 million from overseas and 250,000 from China. You only made 250K in a country of allegedly a couple billion people. We're not really sure on that, by the way. AMC Lincoln Square with 126,000 so far is the top grossing venue for Supergirl. Are we pointing out like individual theaters? This is followed by AMC Burbank, AMC Empire, like, oh God. With the tepid opening of Paramount's Jackass, best, the lowest start ever, blah, 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 don't care, get the Joker. You said you were going to get the Joker. Let's see. There we go. James Gunn and Peter Safran are tasked at DC Studios with delivering. I'm going to move this over here so I can see it better. Filmmaker-driven fare that isn't cookie cutter. Oh, really? Because that totally didn't look like Superman at all. A la the previous DC titles, they're also very vigilant about development. Are they now? No matter how slow the process will be, even killing some impossibly threaded projects that they initially announced in their Gods and Monsters Phase 1 when they took the job. A feature adaptation of Tom King and I can't pronounce his names. Very visceral and edgy graphic novel, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, seemed like an appropriate second production that would clearly one-up any previous iteration of Superman's cousin that we saw in previous iterations, i.e. the 1984 big screen bomb Supergirl. Well, now there's a 2026 big screen bomb Supergirl. Well done. I think you matched it. I would rather watch the Helen Slater movie. As well as the Greg Berlanti produced Melissa Benoist starring series, which portrayed Kara Zor-El as a career woman. Everybody's going to tell you that Supergirl, which I am no fan of, is better than the movie. The Supergirl show is better than the movie. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow was true grit set in Guardians of the Galaxy Outer Space. Safran and Gunn entrusted Gillespie, who they're not going to blame, who has a knack for female-empowered properties, i.e. the Oscar-winning I, Tonya, Cruella, and the Emmy-winning Hulu series Pam and Tommy. How could anything go wrong on paper? What? I can tell you. Would you like me to tell you, Deadline? I mean, you cover entertainment for a living. You hire people, you vet people. I can tell you exactly why this failed. You hired the guy who directed Pam and Tommy to direct a superhero movie, and you hired a writer with zero experience. She wrote one short in 2018, and she punched up the Batgirl script, and that movie was canceled. So there's your problem. Problem solved. What do you mean, what could go wrong? Clearly, this wasn't a Stephen Sondheim-inspired musical like Joker Folie à Deux. No. Folie à Deux. Sorry, not Deleu. Folie à Deux. Where to begin? The biggest complaints from fanboys at the Burbank press screening last Monday was that they had zero patience for Gillespie's homage. They didn't want to see any nods to Guardians of the Galaxy or Mad Max or Furiosa. Been there, done that, and don't ever do that again. Krem, the villain, was too two-dimensional, and out of Hellraiser, Jason Momoa as Lobo was welcome, but not funny enough. Give him something fresh, like Kane Parsons' Backrooms or Curry Barker's Obsession. Yep, give him something fresh. But there's a horrible reality. There's a horrible reality, and that's that there is a toxicity among fanboys and critics with female-led superhero and action films. Captain Marvel got away with it with a 154. So Captain Marvel got away with it. So Captain Marvel got away with it. It still made $1 billion. Captain Marvel also led to Rotten Tomatoes fundamentally changing their site and breaking it. And it also was sandwiched between the two most anticipated sequels of all time. And we saw the real love for Captain Marvel when her sequel came out, for which she was taken off the main title. Pre-COVID, you're still bringing up COVID. And Barbie made a lot of money. A lot of people are still watching House of the Dragon. See, the problem is that you will never, ever, ever, ever discuss Deadline. The problem isn't the female leads. It's how they are portrayed and how they are written by men and women in Hollywood. It is called intersectional feminism. Roll your eyes all you want, Deadline. But that's the problem. I don't really give a fuck if you want to see it or not. That's the problem. Keep making films with the basis of the Bechdel test and intersectional feminism, and they will keep failing, and I will keep pointing it out, and everybody in the audience will keep pointing it out. So go a fucking head. I don't care. I don't care. But fans don't write the scripts. Fans don't greenlight the scripts. Fans don't pick the scripts. Fans don't cast the film. Fans don't put millions of dollars putting into it. Fans just get their hard-earned money, give it to the theater, which goes to the studio, and then they tell you what they think. You don't control that as much as you like to think you do. And, there might have been a time where you had influence. You don't anymore. That time is done because you, Deadline and Access Media, have been a mouthpiece for the studios. Yes, there was a time in more normal times where a site like Deadline would be more critical. Not anymore. Now, they did allow Owen Gleiberman to do that review, but remember, that was like almost like an op-ed. So until you recognize that the customer is not, by the way, the customer is not the problem. The customer that you need to, if I didn't have ad blocker on, pick on your ads to help pay for or subscribe to your rag to help pay your salary, that customer that you're calling toxic, and you're conflating, like, yes, there's people out there saying horrible things, but you're conflating that with the people who are giving you legitimate criticism. And you love to do that because then you don't have to take blame for anything. The studio doesn't have to take blame. The Access Media doesn't have to take blame. We've been doing this for fucking a decade now. And the fact that you still think it works when it hasn't worked is nuts. And then you have to point back to 2 movies. Barbie worked because it was a girl movie of a girl brand that had never been adapted in a big budget movie. So it was a success more in the same way Wonder Woman was. It's like, this is the first time we're looking at this. And to a lot of women and gay men, the movie was pretty good. And that's fine. I didn't think it was good, but I didn't think I would enjoy a Barbie movie. As far as Wonder Woman is concerned, kind of feel the same way. Now, maybe people thought this was going to happen with Supergirl, and Captain Marvel, as we just pointed out, is a completely different circumstance that you even bring up in your article. So there's been 2 billion-dollar movies and an $800 million movie in the last 10 years. There's also been a dozen flops, like absolute flops. And it's because of the intersectional feminism. What is that? You basically cast a female and then have her act like a man. So she's doing a double acting job. She's playing a character, and then she's playing a character as a man. And most humans with eyes and brains can go, something feels off about this. This is kind of cringe. This is kind of lame. And it ends up being lame. Don't blame toxic fans for not wanting to see some lush Supergirl who's not in her fucking costume, who's puking and fucking peeing and killing people, and doesn't put her costume on until the fucking end. Toxic fans, why didn't you want to see that? Don't you want to see messy women? You just don't like women. The more I have seen of these movies, and the more I've broken them down and understand, like my argument has expanded and evolved. Yours hasn't. Yours is just, you just don't like women, toxic bully. Okay. Call me a chud. Call me a misogynist. Call me a toxic bully. I don't care. I don't care. Eventually you have to sit down and understand why people aren't liking things. And superhero fans just want to see their superheroes, and you continue Hollywood and Access Media. You continue to back them trying to make things and the characters we like something they aren't constantly. And then you go, what doesn't work about it? We totally broke it, and they don't like it. He that breaks the thing to find out what it is has left the path of wisdom. Gandalf. Chud, it's a nickname they've been using forever, chat. I wear it as a badge of honor. They're not really good at insults. Noted Chud. Noted Chud. So, oof on Supergirl. It's number 2 at the box office. It could be as low as number 4 at the box office next week. So stay tuned. I wouldn't be surprised if Obsession passes it up again. But then there's going to be Toy Story, Minions and Monsters next week. Lots of animated kid schlock coming out. And Moana. And then the Odyssey. We're coming up to the Odyssey. So no surprise at all that they are rolling out the Batman rumors. Let's see if I can find one of the articles. Hang on. Chad Chud, is that what it is? I don't know where it comes from. I know cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers. I know that Chud, the movie. Yeah, I put that in my video that James Gunn didn't know Superman. I don't know how I missed that clip. Because that came out during Superman. Now I was traveling when I was making the Superman video, but yeah, I don't know how the fuck I missed it, but thank God I found it and then put it in my latest video. And again, thanks for watching. It's doing very well. I'm super happy. A little bit of the revenue will be going to Warner Brothers. They're going to need it. They're going to need it. Okay, where is the... Oh yeah, there's Peter Safran saying they need to, like, this move, the Supergirl was made to win back the trust of fans. Oh, look, hang on. And bless them, okay? I just want to say bless them. No ill will. I may disagree with them on a couple of things, right? But no ill will. I may point out a couple of things, but no ill will. I may have said that one of them has shitty pop culture takes, but not as shitty as political takes. But in all seriousness, I would talk to the guy, have a cup of coffee with him, whatever. And that'd be Jack Posobiec. Who's tweeting about Supergirl? Look at that. Supergirl disappoints at the box office in big setback for DC. Millie Alcock's Supergirl movie has made a surprisingly weak It wasn't that surprising. What's surprising is how much I overestimated it. But listen, in fairness to us, and I am not a box office analyst, the numbers were dipping. And I think we have the answer, by the way. Mandalorian and Grogu is going to make more than Supergirl. Or Supergirl is going to lose more money than Mandalorian and Grogu. Because we were asking that question for the entire beginning of the year. But I don't think Supergirl sniffs $324 million worldwide. Oh, say hi to Remy and Ace. Millie Alcock's Supergirl movie made a surprisingly weak debut in the theaters, raising questions about whether the future of DC Universe is... It's done. It's done. Okay. And thanks for sharing that, Jack Posobiec. But I also want to share one more. Go give Jack Posobiec a follow, but just don't ask him about Tulsa King. Okay. don't ask him about Tulsa King. And then our other buddy, hey, I liked one of his movies, and I especially don't agree, as a massive gamer, I don't agree with his takes on gaming. But again, no ill will. Like, in all seriousness, I'm not being sarcastic, to Matt Walsh. Okay. I really liked Am I Racist? Matt Walsh is tweeting about Supergirl. Nobody cares about or watches these female superhero movies. I think they've been maybe one that didn't flop this century. There's actually two. Female-led action films in general are almost always a dud. There's no audience for it. Nobody wants to see some 105-pound girl boss. 105 pounds soaking wet. That's what you're supposed to say. 5'2", by the way, Matt. Don't forget the 5'2". Girl boss action hero. It's a comically absurd premise, and there's no getting around it. I mean, he ain't lying. The studios are, of course, aware of the market reality, yet they keep churning out anything because they're willing to lose money for the sake of pandering to women who want these movies to exist in principle. This is a very good point. They like the idea of them, but they don't actually go, there needs to be more women and superhero movies. You're going to go, oh no, but I think there needs to be more women, but don't actually care to watch them. That's how female-centric our society has become. He ain't wrong. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, I got delivered something. I don't know why I needed that right now. Okay. So that's how female-centric our society has become. And again, he ain't wrong. He ain't lying. I just want to point something out. You know, Tim Pool made a video about Supergirl. And there's something I put out last night, if I can find it. There it is. I'll just read it to you. I don't want to put my own tweets up. Look at all the political pundits taking time out from saving the country to talk about that silly and inconsequential pop culture. Must be getting rough over in politics. It must be getting rough. But bless their heart, and Matt's not wrong. So with them constantly making female-led superheroes like it's a quota, because it is a quota. It absolutely 100% is a quota. There's a bunch of female middle management in Hollywood at every studio that is and female board members now that are pressuring the sometimes female CEOs to make these movies because they just want to believe, they like the idea that, well, girls get to do this too because girls get it done. And then they don't, over and over and over and over and over again. Let the dudes have their spaces. Let the women have their spaces. Women like romance and true crime. They like to see people fall in love, and they like to see other women get brutally raped and murdered. That's what they like. I don't make the rules. I just make the observations. And then they watch the guy who brutally raped and murdered another member of their gender go to jail, and they're in the back of their mind, they're all, I can change him. There needs to be a female star of a Star Wars movie. Why? Because there hasn't been. So there needs to be black elves and Rings of Power. Why? So the black people who will not watch the show anyway will feel better, which they don't because they don't care. Yeah, the look, it's a rough time in politics. We're at midterms, so it's kind of a lull. And we'll just say there's some splintering going on. And I am very happy talking about Hollywood and pop culture, something that people have been talking about for 100 fucking years. So I'm feeling fine. Hollywood always provides. There's always peaks and valleys, and you just roll with it. You know, when you hit the valleys, you take a vacation. That's what I do. Just take a vacation. But yeah, the politics, yeah, it doesn't look fun. It doesn't look fun. When pretty much exclusively whenever I want to peek into the political world, I'm watching Today Cobra. That is my man on the street. You can have female superheroes. There's some really good ones. They haven't portrayed some of the best. But when Hollywood does, guys, you know what the answer is. They're going to fuck it up. When they bring in Storm, they're going to make Storm an insufferable bitch. Storm is not an insufferable bitch in the comics for the most part. I'm not going to count the last 5 years. Storm is a cool character, like legit. You know, Rogue is a cool character. Like most of the good female characters are in the X-Men. They just are. Now, there's some I like because they're weird. I like Moondragon. Couldn't tell you why. Just do. Oh, she's got a giant rack. That's why. I remember now. But I used to like Carol Danvers a lot as Miss Marvel. So you can have them and have them part of a team, or maybe have them going on a side quest. But I'm not going to. Wonder Woman's never had like a spectacular run of spectacular stories for over the course of years. Just never has. There's been good moments. George Perez, Byrne, you know. Female comic that I'm trying to think of one that, there isn't. There isn't a female-led comic that's made it to hundreds of issues without being broken up or relaunched. Now, there might be of Captain Marvel now because they've relaunched that book last count, which was years ago, 7 times. There's Miss Marvel, which Wonder Woman's probably the longest-running female comic, right? And I'm trying to think of a Marvel one. Sorry. I forgot to make that. Red Sonja is good, but Red Sonja, like, it's more recent and it's more Dynamite. Zatanna has had some good. Paul Dini writing Zatanna, very good, very, very good. But nothing outside of Wonder Woman. Nothing. Wonder Woman is the female superhero, the number one female superhero. And Marvel doesn't have anything close to them. Her. But I do love it when our listen, and some political pundits have gotten it like from the get-go. Right? Have always I'll defend Jack Posobiec. Jack Posobiec has been talking about pop culture for a long time. I don't agree with his takes, but he used to talk about Game of Thrones. Benny always pipes in. That's fine. Benny understands that pop culture is American culture. It is American culture. It is very important. That's why the left completely infiltrated it over the last 40 to 50 years and completely control it. And it was stupid to let that happen, but it happened. Just like it happened to our schools, just like it, all government workers are like, it's all dominated by one party, and it's not an accident. It's not an accident because that's where the control is. That's where the real control is. But there is a large portion of Hollywood that still wants to make money, as opposed to what Jack brought up and Matt brought up. And there is a large contingent that doesn't give a fuck about making money. And that's a lot. That's mostly the actors, because they get paid. They don't care. And the ones who get paid residual, that's not even 1%. It's like a 0.00001%. So the ones who get paid, and they can say whatever the fuck they want. The middle management, they get paid what they get paid. It's not incentivized pay. They get a salary, right? Everybody wants a salary and stuff, but that's great. But incentive-based paying, that's where you find out who the workers are. That's who you find out who the workers are. So, and it's nice to feel comfortable and all, but in the environment of Hollywood, the people who complain the most are getting paid anyway, so they're not risking any money, and they are too dumb to see that it's threatening the legacy of their industry and their industry as a whole right now. So not just the future, the present. The present is very much in trouble. We're having an up year in Hollywood. We are, despite Supergirl flopping, He-Man flopping, Mando flopping. There's been some good movies. There's been some good TV shows. There's been some massive box office successes, some independent box office successes. Toy Story 5 is doing great. I think it's bad that it's doing great. Fake Wizard can tell you more. He's probably got a video on it. I didn't watch Toy Story 5, but I think it's bad that it's doing great, but it's doing great. Project Hail Mary did great. Of course, Obsession, Backrooms, and the other YouTube movies. Things are up. Ticket sales are up a little bit. But we still get article after article that Hollywood is turning into Detroit. Why? Well, because they can't film there anymore. So the entertainment industry is breaking up. Hollywood is breaking up. That's essentially what's happening. And as centralized Hollywood breaks up, and the city of the town of Hollywood will just be administration offices, but they aren't really going to shoot anything there. They're going to start moving those studios and administrative. They already are. Warner Brothers and Paramount had a big plan to share a studio in Nevada. I don't know if that's still going, but it got close. I think it was Nevada that nixed it because of retarded. So they're thinking about putting it somewhere else, but that's what's going to happen. They're going to start putting these studios in Texas and in Nevada and in Florida, in places where there's no state taxes. And nothing can be shot in California. But it's nice to see our friends in the political sphere take time out from saving you and I and our country to talk about Supergirl. Oh, James Gunn is tweeting. Let's see what his replies are. LMAO, nobody's watching this shitty movie. Oh, God, everything DCU. Booked my third viewing for Peak. How about no? Yeah, here we go. I'll share it. Instead of just reading it, I'll share it. No, there it is. So Clown World PhD. Booked my third viewing for Peak. Everything DCU. Totally unbiased. How about no? There's Marvin from Geeks and Gamers. I don't think I will. Fantastic film. Saw it like 3 times. So you saw it 3 times. And you saw it 3 times. What a coinky dink. Gonna watch it again and buy the streaming and physical copies too. Why would anybody? I guess people do, but why would you announce like, I'm totally going to buy the streaming when you can get the digital copy with your physical copy? Keep working hard, Jimmy. Oh, hey, the big PP says my theater was packed and everyone was laughing and cheering during Supergirl. Amazing time at the theaters. Looking forward to Man of Tomorrow and beyond. I don't believe that. I think that's a lie. Oh, I'm going to see it for a third time. It looks like the bot farm got their instructions, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody say they're seeing it for a third time. That's the third time I've seen that. Trash writing, just quit. DC is not for you. That is true. I asked my 17-year-old if she wanted to see it. She said pass. A girl, 17-year-old girl. That is exactly what that's your audience. What's this one? I've been working on trying to get Wonder Woman animated series up and running since I've been here. Who cares? James Gunn nixed Kingdom Come. He nixed Kingdom Come animated, which would have been awesome. Nightfall looks pretty good. Breaking news. James Gunn plagiarizes James Gunn with knockoff of Guardians of the Galaxy film. Yeah, he's getting wrecked. He's getting wrecked. I have to clean my glasses. One moment. No face revealed today. There we go. I'm looking for more subject before we get into the square up. Tom Brittany. We want to look at this. John Campea. I mean, those are AI pictures. What's he look like? Okay, that's what he looks like. Yeah. Okay. This is the rumor. John Campea said he knows who Batman is, but he wouldn't say. He said the pick would surprise him. And then it got out. I don't know if this is related to what John Campea said, but that's the guy. Can I get on the picture more? That's Tom Brittany. So that might be Batman. That might be Batman. Let's see if we can. There we go. You can see that better, can you? And J.K. Simmons for some reason. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how the guy can act. The only problem is, is he a Brit? Is it another fucking Brit? I don't know if Tom Brittany's an actual Brit. I'm just assuming he is. He should be American. So hopefully he's American. Maybe he is. And he'd be in a James Gunn Batman movie, which would be irreverent humor and the Bat family and lots of pop songs and panning around action scenes that are slow-mo, where they'll cover they'll just cover In the Middle by Jimmy Eat World. By the way, what is Jimmy Eat World? What's the acronym of Jimmy Eat World? Rumble, I'm counting on you on this one. He's British, then fuck him. No, I want an American Batman. I want an American Batman. Thanks, babe. Jimmy Eat World. Okay. I don't. He looks fine, but no. Yeah, Christian Bale is British. Robert Pattinson, British. I'm done. Let's hire some American people to write or to play Batman because he's American. I don't want an American playing Doctor Who. So, hey, you kind of look the part, but you're not American. So, no. We've had enough Brit Batmans. Bring back Ben Affleck. Let Ben Affleck write and direct his Batman movie. Pedro Pascal is bad. He's not American. And he's not straight. I don't think gay men should play straight parts. They're telling straight men that they can't play gay parts, so gay men can't play straight parts. It's only fair. Henry Rollins for Batman? I mean, maybe Henry Rollins from... No, he still can't act. Henry Rollins is autistic, so he'd be autistic Batman. Autistic Batman. I mean, is Batman autistic? Maybe a little. Maybe a little bit on the spectrum. You never know. But a Batman needs to be American. You know, Christian Bale's so fucking method. He did some interviews for Batman with an American accent. You guys know? I'm sure you guys noticed that. I'm sure you guys noticed that. What's this about the Odyssey? Oh, is this from 2 days ago? I guess we could do one more article. Hang on. The BBC is going to tell us why the Odyssey has caused so much controversy. I mean, I could make this a very short time of it. Black Helen of Troy and Elliot Page. Thank you. Good night. Why the Odyssey has caused so much controversy from the BBC. Christopher Nolan's adaptation of Homer's. Why am I blanking on her name? The Emily Wilson. That's the other reason. Christopher Nolan's adaptation of Homer's ancient Greek epic starring Matt Damon and Zendaya and many more is the most anticipated film of 2026, but also the most contested. Here's why. Christopher Nolan's last film, the Oscar-winning Oppenheimer, was about the invention of the atomic bomb and the ethics of killing tens of thousands of civilians in a global conflict. All things considered, he must have thought his next film would be a lot less controversial. After all, the Odyssey is based on Homer's ancient poem. Well, what's I mean, like, it happened. It was history. I think he handled it pretty well, to be honest with you. But yeah. After all, the Odyssey is based on Homer's ancient poem about warriors and kings, gods, and monsters. What is there for anyone to grouse about? The height of Polyphemus the Cyclops? The wood used to make the Trojan horse? Well, maybe not. But well, you know what? No. There's some history bros who will fucking, yes, yes, that will get brought up. But it turns out that people have groused about pretty much everything else. The Odyssey it's releasing in July, or it's going to be released in July, whatever, has become the most contentious film of the year, a lightning rod for all kinds of political and cultural grievances. What is about a swords and sandals fantasy epic that is so upsetting? Before you get started, BBC, I'm sure I can find a BBC article where they talk about whitewashing. I'm pretty sure. And there's this thing that I like called consistency of argument. You know, not perfect at it, but consistency of argument, just, you know, being honest. So all of a sudden, it's not going to be a big deal if they race swap anybody. And by the way, the Lupita Nyong'o thing and the Elliot Page thing are so bad that people are kind of overlooking Zendaya. Much of the grumbling has consisted of conservative fears that the film might be too liberal. We just want the story to be told. Homer's Odyssey is not a conservative story or a liberal story. It is a story that should be adapted to the spirit of the source material. It is the liberals, Emily Wilson, who slanted the translation to liberalism and progressivism. Not everyone approved when Nolan hired transgender actor Elliot Page and rapper Travis Scott. Oh, yeah, there's that. To play so far unidentified male characters and the poet, I want to say this right, Demodicus, Bigasticus, respectively. People have also objected to his choice of a black actress, Lupita Nyong'o, to play Helen of Troy, described by Homer as white-armed. Wolfgang Petersen's Homer adaptation, Troy, to the loosely inspired by the Iliad, didn't have a vocal fan base years ago, but recently it's been held up by some of the social media as superior to those. Well, we can't say it. We haven't seen it. I like Troy, the director's cut. I don't love it, but I like it. At least it's casting of Brad Pitt as Achilles and Diane Kruger as Helen of Troy. Who's hotter? One right-wing blogger, Matt Walsh, declared that Nolan had cast a woman of Kenyan heritage as Helen because he was afraid of being called a racist. I don't think he's afraid of being called a racist. I think he's just reinforcing his beliefs. He didn't offer evidence of Nolan's supposed fears, and indeed, the vast majority of the cast is white. But that didn't happen. Elon Musk chiming in with, but that didn't stop Elon Musk chiming in with his agreement. Some on social media in response accused Walsh and Musk of being bigoted. Others took a more scholarly approach. Professor Daniel Mendelssohn, or whatever, whose translation of Homer's poem was published last year, said that the UK's Hay Festival in May, that he was amused by all of these bros suddenly worrying about Greek culture. Well, the Greeks are worried about Greek culture. And it's not just Greek culture, it's culture. It's culture. It's replacing somebody else's culture with something when it's not okay to do it the other way. Because, Professor Daniel Mendelssohn or whatever, I'm sure you're the kind of person who believes in cultural appropriation. Well, how is this not cultural appropriation? Hollywood is the best at cultural appropriation. According to the report in the Telegraph, Mendelssohn, or whatever the fuck his name is, what's so funny is that Helen has the tiniest role in the Odyssey, so the debate is particularly silly. Not really. Not really. Oh, they're like, oh, it's silly. It's no big deal. It's no big deal, but wait until they find something they care about. But he proposed that Nyong'o's casting was a consonant with the concern of the Troy myth, which is how to think about beauty. Wow, that's kind of insulting to her. Don't you think? We rethink beauty with Lupita Nyong'o. I think Nolan's choice of this very beautiful actress who happens to be African lands squarely in the middle of a very old discussion. I'm sure you can rationalize it. I watched Tolkien scholars rationalize black elves. In Elle magazine, Nyong'o gave her own pithy response to the attacks. This is a mythological story. Our cast is representative of the world. A mythological story that she knew nothing about, despite having a degree in arts from Yale. Never heard of the Odyssey. I wonder whether or not we've inclined to treatment mythology. I wonder whether we have become inclined to treat mythological material as though it were historical material. No. But if you are going to adapt the story of the Anansi, and there's a single white person in that adaptation, they would lose their fucking minds. Another point. Modern mythology, Black Panther, T'Challa. There was a rumor that Aaron Pierre was going to play T'Challa, and Black Twitter lost its fucking mind because he's too light-skinned. So I went down that rabbit hole, and I found out there's a term called colorism, because it's not racism. Only white people can be racist. It's called colorism. And it's when the brothers and the sisters out there were like, he ain't dark enough. And you know what? I agree with them. I agree. Make it look like T'Challa. I 100% agree. Brother's too light skin. Accuracy, it matters. So it does matter. So it doesn't matter, and then it does matter. And as I've always said, if it doesn't matter, then just keep them white, because it doesn't matter. The film has become a target because of blah, 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 right wing, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be an interesting, I'm going to save that for later. I'm definitely putting a pin on that one for my review, or maybe a video to come out before my review, because it's going to be a shit show, because there's going to be the cultural aspect. There's going to be the history aspect. And then there's going to be the Nolan fans. And you are going to find out that the Nolan fans are just as passionate, if not more, than the Snyder fans. Oh, you're about to find out. You are about to find out. I don't worship at the altar of Nolan. I like him. I like a lot of his movies. And even the ones I don't like, I can appreciate as good cinema. Like, well-crafted, well thought out. I don't think the guy's a hack. Overrated in some aspects. Very much so, I believe. Yes. Yes. I think his films are a bit sterile at times, and they lack levity. Like, they're very serious and pretentious. Really pretentious. Exceedingly pretentious at times. So people walk out going, well, I just understood Interstellar more than you. That makes me smarter. And that, you know what? I know this is going to be a weird comparison, but it's true. Rick and Morty fans. Rick and Morty fans. You're like, I kind of like some Rick and Morty stuff. Thought it was a little funny, but then it went on too long. And Rick and Morty fans were just like, well, this is comedy for smart people, and you're obviously not smart. It's like, oh, wow, I'm not smart enough to get Rick and Morty. Wow. Okay. Please tell me how the Szechuan sauce unlocks the mysteries of the universe. Oh, high-minded one. Mensa. Please tell me. But yeah, it's going to be super fun. It's gonna, yeah. I like it when there's a lot of debate, and they're gonna try to make it just about the culture, and it might be that. Like, I might sit down and watch the movie and go, "Man, I really fucking hated Black Helena Troy and Elliot Page, but I liked everything else." That's totally a possibility. I'll see it and tell you what I think. I don't know what to think of it now. Based on the trailers, I'm not like through the roof excited. I'm actually, and like when it all plays out, I could be completely wrong about this, and I'll freely admit it, but I was more fired up by the Spider-Man trailer than the Odyssey trailer, to be honest with you. And I'm not, as you know, not some super duper Tom Holland fan. As a matter of fact, the EFAP audience still reminds me that they don't like my take on Homecoming. And I'm not sorry, and it hasn't changed. But I did like No Way Home. And this movie looks pretty neat. So, but I will not deny the BBC, like the most anticipated movie of the year has to be The Odyssey. It is, like, unquestionably. Like, more than Doomsday, more than, and I know Jeremy was a little, and I was a little surprised about it too. But if you think about it, it's like, no, this is Nolan adapting one of the first stories that we know about. I mean, it's no Gilgamesh, but you know, the basis for all storytelling, and it's the first time it's been adapted into a big budget film. It's the biggest director. It's coming out in the middle of summer, and yeah, it should be and it's an old timey Hollywood epic that we just don't get anymore. So yes, it should be the most anticipated movie of the year. It's certainly the one I'm the most curious about. And yes, Metatron will be on with us on Friday Night Tides, probably just screaming, Nolan! In his Sicilian accent. God bless Metatron, by the way. He just made 5 Nolan videos while I was talking about Nolan. That Sicilian rascal. I almost called him Italian. That might be an insult. Pretty sure he's Sicilian. Been to Sicily. It's amazing. It's an amazing country. They drive on the right side of the road, for one. That's good. And the food's pretty good. Some people think Odyssey will flop. I do not think it's going to flop. I do not think it's going to flop. It would shock me if it flopped. But if it does flop, then feel free to give me all the shit you want. Okay? Feel free. Call me out. You know, kind of like the Snyder Bros right now. You know what the Snyder Bros are doing all day today? I told you so. I fucking told you so with James Gunn. And they have every right to do it. Oh. Perry, you might have to clip this in to I didn't see this till now. And damn it, Steph put it in there to the Supergirl stuff if you're going to do that. Because we got one more. Oh, shit. From geeksandgamers.com. The New York Times blames misogyny after Supergirl crashes out at the box office. I want to be the first to say this from, like, in the most sincere way possible, from the bottom of my heart. Hail misogyny! Yes! Well done. I knew I could count on you, misogyny. If you read the reviews of Supergirl, critics point out that many issues that could have contributed to the latest DC film flopping at the box office, a bad script, weak villains, drab visuals, etc., have all been put on blast. But the New York Times has decided there's an easier explanation for the failure of Supergirl. Misogyny. Hail. So proud of you. They counted us out. They said it was dead. Misogyny is back. Yes, it's time for that old familiar tune once again. Supergirl opened to a disappointing $38 million domestically. Misogynist to blame. Well, below already muted industry expectations, prompting DC Studios co-chair Peter Safran to publicly acknowledge that the film failed to meet the studio's box office goals. But while DC Studios is attempting to explain away the disappointing debut as one setback in a broader, longer-term strategy of losing your job, the New York Times has offered a different explanation. suggests that misogyny among superhero fans may be partly responsible for the weak performance of Supergirl in all female-led superhero movies. Yep. An article examining Supergirl's opening weekend, the newspaper wrote, female-led superhero movies have been rejected almost uniformly over the past 5 years or so, perhaps reflecting a resurgence in misogyny. Hell yeah. Among the core fan base, which is largely male. So men, we want to see women. Listen, if Supergirl was hot, it would have made 10 million more at the box office. It would have cracked 45 million if Supergirl was hot. And Disparu's right. All superheroes, men or women, need to be 10s. Need to be 10s. Maybe not Plastic Man, but fucking Superman, yes. The same article lists several online problems. What makes the argument notable is that the New York Times also acknowledges several factors unrelated to misogyny. The paper notes that Supergirl received a rotten rating on Rotten Tomatoes, has earned a B- cinema score from the opening nights. Well, they're all misogynist too. Marvin, they're all misogynist. Wouldn't you like to be a misogynist too? And opened roughly 24% below pre-release projections that had already been lowered by the misogynists. Those are already measurable indicators that audiences and critics were less enthusiastic about the film than Warner Brothers had hoped. Yet, the article still suggests that the disappointing result for Supergirl may reflect a resurgence of misogyny. Baby, it never went away. It never went away among the genre's largely male fan base. Wonder Woman demonstrated audiences will embrace female heroes. Well, okay. Hear me out. Gal Gadot can't act, but she's a smoke show. She's hot. So it doesn't matter. Most of us didn't notice for years. We were like, oh, she was saying stuff? I wasn't listening. One of the biggest challenges to Supergirl misogyny argument is DC's own history. Yeah. I mean, it's got nothing to do with a woman running around in a metal red, white, and blue bikini. We're not going to bring up Gal Gadot and her video, the Imagine video. We're not going to bring that up, okay? We're not bringing that up. That would be misogynistic. So here we are again with the same argument with Captain or the Marvels and Captain Marvel, even though that was a success. And any criticism, anything female led, it's misogyny. You know, here's what it is. It's not misogyny. It is a stereotype of women that is absolutely true. So it's not even a stereotype. It's a point of fact. Accountability. A woman wrote the movie. A woman starred in the movie. A gay man directed the movie. And it failed. And why did it fail? Because of the woman who starred in the movie, because of the woman who wrote the movie, and the gay man who directed the movie. That's why it failed. It sucked. That's why it failed. If it was a good movie, it wouldn't fail. But it's a bad movie. And why is it a bad movie? Then we get into the why. Because you made Supergirl super skank. And you might, James Gunn from Trauma might think that's funny and interesting, especially doing it, I don't know, for the 4th time in a row. He likes to do it with his wife. I mean, other guys like to do it with his wife, but I mean, talking about like the characterization of a skank, he likes to do that with his wife, a messy woman. It's okay to be messy. We know what you're into, James. But it's also okay to be heroic, which she wasn't in the entire movie. She wasn't super. She wasn't a hero. and it failed. It's failing because you keep giving women who are inexperienced jobs and setting them up to fail because there isn't enough women interested in superheroes to direct them or write them. So, I mean, go ahead and keep, you know what? New York Times, Access Media, keep blaming the audience. Just go ahead. Because what you have done by blaming the audience for over a decade now is created your own competition, which is now the audience. The audience collectively beats the brakes off you in entertainment reporting, and it's not even fucking close. So keep it up. You're the reason I'm here. You're the reason Geeks and Gamers is here. You're the reason Drinker is here. You're the reason Mahler is here. Keep it up. Thank you. I'm nothing but grateful that you have been retarded for over a decade and not understanding the same argument that I said about Angry Joe on Flashcast. That audience that you are calling toxic and misogynist are the people who read your rag. You fucking morons. So you're throwing out that broad net and you are catching people with your insults that's crossover because it's not your audience. It's not my audience. It's not Angry Joe's audience. It's not the New York Times audience. It is the audience. And you fundamentally don't understand that. And that is why you fail. And I am grateful for it. I owe you so much, Access Media, for being complete fucking retards. I really do. Trying to get, I'm like Ryan with my windows right now. I got like 50 windows open. We want this. Is this what we want? We want this. All right, we're going to go to Friday Night Tights. And we were saying super girl bombs, and it did. It did. How do you know it's going to bomb? You haven't seen it yet. Part of our gig is pattern recognition, and that's something you lovely people in the audience have. You do the same. You're like, wow, I've seen this before. Pattern recognition. It's a real thing. You know, if I put my, listen, I'm a little autistic. Okay. I'm just going to be real. I'm a little autistic. Maybe a lot autistic. If I focus my autism or Steph or Lady Gravemasters or even Garrett's towards, we could find keywords, and I can find articles for The Acolyte, The Marvels, Starfleet Academy, Ahsoka, even Mandalorian and Grogu season 3, Joker 2, Bluebeard. I could just any movie. It doesn't even have to be female led, and I can find the keywords that will blame it's all blaming the audience. I could do an entire video just going over articles from the last 10 years. It would be 3 hours long that sound the same because they are the same. They keep rewriting the same article. Now they've dropped some stuff. Remember the good old Russian bot days? It was I'm not kidding, by the way. I'll come on the camera for this. I'm not kidding, by the way. There was a narrative that Vladimir Putin and the Russians were trying to sow the seeds of dissent in America with bot farms criticizing Star Wars movies. something so ludicrous that even it split the access media. There was people running with it, and there was other ones going, okay, pump the brakes. That's a little too retarded even for us. But that was a real thing. That happened. But when that happened, because up until that, I'm like, man, yeah, some of the stuff I'm getting into, it's like kind of conspiratorial and like, I love me a good conspiracy and I believe in UFOs and all kinds of crazy shit. But this is, man, I need more proof. And then I started getting more proof about the Marxist foundation of everything they were doing in Hollywood, to the point where I got access to think tank papers that were the precursor to the DEI rules that were being rolled out in Hollywood, that were actually inspired by the DEI rules that weren't called DEI rules. It was called I think it was Diversity Initiative in the BBC. So they had done it in 2012. So went through a bunch of paperwork, read all this, and went, holy fuck, this is planned. That was years ago. And there are still people who deny it. And it's like, it's in the Oscar rules. Like, they're there for the God they don't believe in and everyone else to read. All right. Where was I? There it is. Okay. Supergirl bombs, James Gunn, DC in shambles, Odyssey backlash. I thought we had a really good show last week. Wide variety of opinions. See, it's going to be tough. I almost feel bad for. Well, you don't have to feel bad for D-Day Cobra because he's doing fine. If the Odyssey is good, like unquestionably good, I think everything's fine. I think it makes a lot of money. I think some people like me will obviously point out the things we hate about it, but we'll say everything else is fine. I don't know. And that could happen. If it is a mid movie, that's going to be the worst. I mean, because if it's shitty, everybody can say it's shitty. But if it's mid, it's going to be nuts. I'm going to love it. Because you're going to have to balance, like, I am and like Jeremy's a fan of Nolan. I'm not a fan. So Jeremy roots for Nolan. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. He roots for Nolan. So he's going to have to, like, I root for Nolan. The movie's not that great. There is some woke shit in there. That's undeniable. Whether it plays out that it's immaterial if it plays out that way in the movie. It's a woke decision. So it's there. So therefore it makes it woke. It makes it intersectional, which is the Marxist basis I talk about. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Be interesting to see. Watch that unfold. Quad for $5 says $5 towards the ransom to get real X-Ray Girl back from Japan. No, she saved herself. She's a whammon. She's a strong and powerful whammon who saved herself. She didn't need no man. Scruffy Nerf Herder for $5. Millie Alcock is the hottest chick with Down syndrome I've ever seen. Maybe she cleans up good. Okay, the director and the cinematographer did her no favors in that movie. And if you think the screenshots are bad from the trailers, wait till you see the movie. It's bad. Like, it was noticeably bad. You're like, oh. If you want to laugh at, watch Koi Jandaru and go read some comics with Jenna Supergirl reviews. If you want to laugh, Jenna Supergirl reviews. I'll look it up real quick. What's a Jenna Supergirl reviews? Oh, go read some comics with Jenna. Oh, yeah. Yeah. She was one of the influencers who was there earlier. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I try. Don't always succeed. But I let them have their say. And I generally, if I think they're outright shills and influencers, I'll call them that. But I'm not like, I try not to put too many of their clips in the videos unless I'm trying to prove a point. But people could have their say and they can feel however they want. And I can feel that they're complete liars for the most part, unless it's just absolutely cringe. Like Grizzy does a great job at pointing out hypocrisy. Like that's a good reason to do it too. But go watch Mr. Grizzy. I can't sit there and just like John Rocha can't sit through one of my streams. I can't sit through one of his. I just can't. Marco for $10. And like, that's probably the, I don't know, 5th time I've ever brought him up in the history of this channel. And he quietly they talk about us. That's the thing is they talk about us. If they're like, it's always up in my timeline. You clicked on my face. It's not how the algorithm works. If you clicked on my face, that's why it's there. If you want, okay, for free therapy, I park in handicap spaces just so random people will yell, there's nothing wrong with me. Beardo for $10. That's good. Matthew Hammond for $5 says, what is the lifespan of a creative in Hollywood? Is the problem that most of these people are empty vessels parroting what other people are saying around them and breaks their brains? Yes, I mean, they're empty shells anyway. And the thing is, to be a creative, you can't be an empty shell. You have to be kind of smart. Actors, they get away with that, but writers? Ryan Kennel for $10. Funny how my super chats are tougher sentences for Gary than he's ever got from a judge. Ryan Kennel for $10. Every day we have thousands of people coming into this country with no skill, no grasp of the language, and total drain on our resources. Babies are such assholes. That was good. That was good. Leonardo T. Dragon, Psychotic Mongoose, Big PD, Lawless, Namakian, Jesus Davila, and WG have all gifted Nerdrotic memberships. Thank you. Thank you. Wigden Briones for $1.99 says, I wonder if the canceled Batgirl movie was better. Well, the canceled Batgirl movie did have better directors. The guys who directed Bad Boys 3 and 4. Was it 3 or 4? 3 and 4, yeah. I like both those movies. Can't say I like, and by the way, those are action movies and not like I, Tanya and fucking Pam and Tommy. So I can defend them there. I doubt it was any worse. I highly doubt it. I don't think it was going to be good. I've seen footage of it. I can't talk about it. But yeah. Taylor Sheridan on Joe Rogan was good. Was he on recently? Because I know about his other performance. Yeah, I'll have to watch it. I subscribe to Joe. Why isn't his stuff popping up? I wonder if they unsubscribe me from Joe. Has anyone on the panel read Raymond E. Feist's Rift War Saga, one of my favorite fantasy series growing up? I bet you Shad has. I've heard of it. Haven't read it. Snarky DM for $1.99. Supergirl 2 Doomsday Whoops Chaka for 2 hours. Chaka not happy with Supergirl. John Patterson for $19.99. I don't know if anyone has brought this up. Campia keeps talking about $100 million in production placement. Y'all the tech speak, but I thought most movies had that they are just trying to make this less of a failure. Love you guys. Yes, it's a cope. It is a cope. This movie's going to lose a lot of money. Because here's the truth of the matter, truth that even John Campia knows. The studios lie. These movies cost a lot more than they normally say. 186 is probably with the tax credits, according to Odin. I believe Odin. This movie needed minimum 5 to 550 to break even. So if you add that 100 million, it still ain't hitting it. The 100 million from product placement and stuff. Is Watchmen a top 10 comic book movie ever? Snyder adapted the story so well. Jack Earl Haley as Rorschach was phenomenal. Top 10 comic book movie. I would say yes. Yes. And I'll go one step further, Jake Tammon. Jack Earl Haley should have been nominated for an Academy Award. His performance at Rorschach, I hope you're sitting down for this, is as good as Heath Ledger's as the Joker. His performance is phenomenal. It's iconic. I said it at the time. I say it now. I'm like, he should have been nominated. He should have won. His Rorschach is one of the greatest performances in a comic book film ever. And one of the most accurate. Hail Jack Earl Haley. Not Early. Earl Haley. I'm never early. I follow him on well, my wife follows him on like Instagram. I see some of his videos. He's in Texas. Not 716 for $10. I would have pulled over to yell at Az about the butter too. Yeah, I did. I pulled over to you because, like, well, it's Disparu, really. So Disparu got an argument wrong, which he rarely does, but it wasn't important to him, so he probably didn't remember. Saying that Americans don't butter their bread. It's like, yes, we do. We butter our bread all the fucking time. Toasted or not toasted, we butter our bread. Where we don't butter our bread is when you're making a tuna sandwich or a ham sandwich or something where like a bunch of meat and other stuff is good. That doesn't mix with butter unless you toast it. Then, okay. Like a BLT. Then I'll put butter. I'll put butter on the bread if I toast it. But I ain't putting fucking butter on a BLT that's going to have just room temperature bread. No. That ain't right. And I just had to set him straight on that one. I don't think I did, to be honest with you. Are you excited about the rest of House of the Dragon or expecting it to be bad? It's bad now. It's bad. Now, it's not like Supergirl bad, and it's not like Acolyte bad or Agatha bad. It's in a lot of ways worse because it used to be good, and it still has good moments, and it still has good actors and characters I care about. A lot fewer now. But the mental gymnastics they have taken with the story to make Rhaenyra and Alicent more prominent, and it's because they want this to be a female-led show, have led the females to look completely retarded and have made the male characters completely retarded and made the show completely retarded. But man, those dragons look fucking awesome. They do. The effects for House of the Dragon are better than any Marvel or DC movie. They are spectacular. The sets are, the craftsmanship on this show is fucking top tier. So I'm sorry the writers have let you down. For anybody who's working on special effects and building the sets and the costuming. You guys are the best in Hollywood at what you do. I really want to like shower you with compliments because the craftsmanship in the show is fucking unbelievable. And you're being completely let down by the screenwriters and Sarah Hess and Ryan Condal. It's one thing to make changes from the books, but the changes they made are really dumb and are hugely consequential to the end of the story. So the end of the story in the books, they can't do now. They simply cannot do it. the way they worked, the way they changed it. So it's going to be a mystery to me. A lot of people were saying pure cinema last night because there was a lot of cool dragon stuff, and it did, like, the pacing of the show was better, but what was actually in the scenes that were paced better was dumber. So I thought the first episode was better than the second episode. And then it got dumb, like really dumb, which sucks because Matt Smith fucking rules as Daemon Targaryen, and he's being wasted. And they're really going to prop up Rhaenyra, who is just a terrible character. She's a fucking, and so is Alicent. But you can have terrible characters, but it's not an interesting terrible. It's a retarded terrible. And as you know, big fan of this show. I back this show. Our chat, I won't say completely revolted, but half of them were revolting against us during our reviews last season. And you are free to do it, by the way. I'm not going to stop you. You can call us full of shit or whatever. We're kind of in line now. And a lot of people are pointing out, going, I fucking told you. Like, yeah, you did. You did. And fucking Az is going to be incorrigible. Son of a bitch. John Vick for $5 been rewatching Rockford Files. Great show. And the later seasons are super political, pro-feminism, and guest star Tom Selleck sells missiles to Israel. Be wary. Oh, I remember. Somebody sent me the season and I watched it, but remember, it was like late 70s, early 80s. The 70s were as hyper political as it is now, right? The 70s were dark. The economy sucked. There were gas lines. Carter was a fucking shit president. As we found out now, which you don't want to tell a boomer, is that Nixon was removed by a CIA coup because, man, you brought up Watergate and a boomer ejaculates in his pants automatically. They just like, that was porno for them, was Watergate. It's like, oh my God, Watergate. Let's make 50 documentaries and movies on Watergate because that's where we got the man. Actually, you got the man with the help of the CIA. So well done. To the point where a lot of boomers, when they found that out, were like, what the fuck? To their credit, by the way. But my God, Woodstock and fucking Watergate. That was their porn. What was funny, if for those of us old enough to remember how much Hollywood hated Reagan, but they couldn't because he was so fucking popular. They wanted to, and they did a couple of times. They take shots at Reagan, but like then people go, Reagan's one of yours. Reagan's from Hollywood. Former Democrat turned Republican. The S-Man Star for $1.99. British. The new animated Ricky Gervais. Is there a new one out? I know he's got a comedy special coming out. God bless Ricky Gervais. Greatest comedian in the world now? I think so. Dave Chappelle has just fallen off a cliff. Bill Burr sucks. Tony Hinchcliffe is pretty fucking good. He might be my number 2. Shane Gillis fallen off. He's going Hollywood. And comedians are like, yeah, comedians. Jimmy Carr is solid. Yes. Jimmy Carr. I like Jimmy Carr a lot, but I'm living comedians, not dead ones. I'd have to say it's Ricky Gervais. He's number 1. Ricky Gervais. I can't say he's not dead. Somebody mentioned Robin Williams. Sorry, chat. Somebody mentioned Robin Williams. So Melvin thinks Jimmy Carr is a wanker. I mean, to be fair, Melvin, you think everybody's a wanker? You think I'm a wanker, but I like you. I think you made a good guess on the dog breed too. We're gonna get some DNA and find. I saw your reply on Ace's. I have no idea what Ace is. I think he's just hellhound. He's just the nice hell. He's the little sweet hellhound. Ricky Gervais, I think, greatest comedian in the world right now. I do. I could be wrong. Listening to Harry Potter 6 when the HP talk. When's the HP talk? That's a good question, Andy. I'm going to say soon. After the summer. It's going to be a little busy with Supergirl and Odyssey reviews for the next. Let's be real. It's pretty much going to be my channel for the next couple of weeks. Hope you don't get tired of it. It's what I care about. I think I got one more Supergirl review, man. I definitely do after fucking Warner Brothers. Oh my God. I hate to do this to you guys. And don't hate me for it. It'll just be with I'm trying to work around right now. And I'm not going to bore you with the Warner Brothers and Paramount are fucking terrible with copyright, but at least you can fight Paramount. But I've recently found a way to maybe fight and defeat Warner Brothers. If I keep with that, I won't do this. If they keep hitting me, then I'm going to have to fucking read ads so I can pay Garrett in Warner Brothers videos. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop doing them. I am going to do Warner Brothers videos if I don't make a fucking penny. I'm going to do it for the love of the game and to fucking piss off Warner Brothers because fuck Warner Brothers. I'm glad you're being sold, you pieces of shit. You dumb fucking company. $15 billion in debt. And you abuse the copyright claim system, you pieces of fucking shit. I hope Ellison fires you with a Trump doll. They have like a Trump doll that goes, "You're fired." I got one for Jeremy. That's what I hope Ellison fires you all with. And then Zaslav can just go off and count all his money because his whole plan from the beginning was to sell the company and make a bunch of money and respect. Respect for him for that. Now, hopefully, I won't have to do the ad thing. Maybe I'll look. Hang on, let me check my email right now. Maybe I got a response from my PM. What? Oh, okay. Well, maybe I don't need to do the ad then. There you go. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Back to this. Ryan is insufferable. No, he's not. He's sufferable. He might feel insufferable, Spence, but he's sufferable. I love Ryan. The woke breaker for $2. No reason to ever change, squat. Yeah. The duality of man in the chat, it never ends. Ryan sucks. Ryan's the best thing on the show. Like we see that all the time. As a bacon bro, I see the true value of everything as how much bacon it brings home. Gone with the Wind, 1.55 billion pounds. Endgame, 498.7 million. I think if you Slain Hope, I think that's a good way to measure it. How much bacon is the Odyssey going to bring home as opposed to Oppenheimer? Okay. I'm a bacon bro too. The intel behind a change matters too, though. The intel behind a change matters too. It does, Imperial Fistan. Do schools still teach the Iliad and the Odyssey? I don't know. I haven't been in a school since I got kicked out back in 1987. Year of our Lord, 1987. Do they? They used to when I was a kid. But I mean, to be honest, when I was a kid, the Odyssey and the Iliad just happened a couple of days ago. So it's just like, did you hear what happened a couple of days ago? Crazy. Gary, you need to pay the ransom for X-Ray Girl. To who though, Dirty Water? I mean, I don't know. She just kidnapped herself, trying to grift me out of some money. You got to wonder why Tom Holland can't be in a movie or project that doesn't have Zendaya in it or involved. I wonder why. Maybe because they don't want to get sick of each other. I don't know. I don't know. Nat, yeah, or they do. Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's the reverse. Zendaya is in. It's 4 movies this year, 4 major movies. She's in The Odyssey. She's in Spider-Man. She's in Dune. There's another one. What's the other one? Yeah, it's getting Pedro Pascal-ish as far as overexposure, but Zendaya is not obnoxious. She's actually very nice on the red carpet. So, I mean, good for her for that. I've never seen her recently say anything fucking stupid about fans. She's always kind of smiling and waving and then like doing what she's supposed to do. So I will not say she's as bad as Pedro Pascal. Getting overexposed, a little overcast, but yeah. Hero of Canton for $2. Go away and start the Cobra Tard cast. That's what Jeremy leaves. Downtime minis for $10. So hard to paint Warhammer models while listening to you guys as I laugh so much, but I love it. Oh, I'm glad you're laughing. And I'm glad we're making it hard for you. BWD Aries for $10. Hey guys, don't worry. This $10 will be worth $50 by 2035. Or it'll be worth 50 cents. I think that's what you meant. Gone with the Wind had 4-year running and was seen by 300 million people. Stop being gay, Jeremy. 300 million people in the 30s. In the 30s. So what was the population? Of Earth in the 1930s. It was between 2.07 and 2.3 billion people. So that's a significant amount of people on the planet. Back in the 30s, most of which didn't have electricity or a pot to piss in, literally. 300 million people watched the movie. Now, you also have to consider the environment. Depression. Movies were a cheap form of entertainment, and you probably went and saw them multiple times because you had nothing else to do. Wonder how they dealt with air conditioning back then. Never thought about it. And I still won't. Gary, I think you broke my brain on Tuesday when you said that Secret Wars ties into What If Season 3. I did. In a way. Thematically. Okay. Is it a direct tie-in or just written the same way? Either way, Marvel is screwed if they do this. Based on what I've heard, and this is the only hint I will give. Based on what I've heard about Secret Wars, it matches something in What If Season 3 thematically to the T. You will have to let your imagination and sleuthing do the rest. The Hollywood Menace for $4.99. Nolan must hire these people to qualify for the bingo card for Oscars, guys. It is a requirement, not a suggestion. Oscars adds money to the box office. It does. They just gave it to one woke after another. Who's worse, Angry Joe or Joe Russo? Oof. Yes. Old Renaissance Boomer for $5. Don't know where X-Ray Girl is. But is it wrong that my mind went to Angels in the Outfield 1994? It looks like a prison photo. Nah, it's not wrong. Andy Miller, UK for £2 The return of 2024 with Ralph Fiennes in the return 2024 with Ralph Fiennes is fantastic. I've heard it is. Fulgrim, the Diddy Primark for $2 says Jeremy and his feelings over the Odyssey. We'll see. Lauren Zock's art for 100 TBHs. Black Snape skin gonna save GTA. Sure. Gary should play GTA 6 and give a realism review. Okay. Sauce Monkey for $5. What are the chances that Angry Joe would ever call in here and try to argue with you guys? I want to see it. Oh, he wanted the link. I think he asked in one of his videos. Didn't he ask for the link to one of our shows? That's what he wants, though. That's the whole point of this. I would happily talk to Joe somewhere else. Privately first. Nick never made a Super Dude movie, says Captain JPS. After that proof, Gary hates the audience. Oh, yeah. I'm just well known for that. Tiger King Rex Carter for $4.99. Interesting. Valiant, not Team Gun now. The WB sale wrapping up, eh? I don't know if it was Valiant. I don't know if Valiant was Team Gun. I don't know. I think he was giving him a chance, which is fair enough. But Garrett brought up correctly that the media turning on Supergirl might not have anything to do with James Gunn, and it might have everything to do with Ellison taking over Warner Brothers. I think that is a possibility. Dead Scene 03 for $2. You mean to tell me someone lied on the internet? I know, Ron. Sinan does not appear in Homer's The Odyssey. Yes, we did bring that up. He is a character primarily. Andy Miller from UK. Thanks for pointing this out for £5. He is a character primarily found in Virgil's Aeneid, Book 2, or Aeneid. I don't know how to pronounce it. So more lying by Nolan for DEI. Zelly Mix for 5 Canadian pesos. Anyone remember Ellen Page and Trailer Park Boys? H.R. Geiger's Search History for $4.99. I hate this movie is going to make me defend Tom King. His book is better. Supergirl is only drunk in the first issue. Then she locks in as a hero. Yeah, I don't love the book either, but she does a heroic thing at the end. And even Joe got upset about it. Even Joe got upset about it because they adapted it without adapting a proper ending, which is the stamp on the end of the book, you know? Gary, STP props, cheap. Comp conference table, like $19. STP means Star Trek Academy. I mean, some of the stuff was cheap. The chair I got, because I was talking about, I took possession of my screen used shuttle chair, which is right over there from Starfleet Academy. It is my scalp. That was not cheap. It started out cheap. It was not cheap. Ryan, no movie has a chance in Europe. AC is banned. It's cooked then. Zcast for $19.99. You guys going to see the movie Young Washington? Yes. Although Angel Studios, I think it's blown over for now. But major unforced error doing Animal Farm. The movie's awful. It does undercut the message. All of that would have been fine. Going after the audience, Not okay. They pulled a Black Rock rug pull, in my opinion, and hopefully they don't do it again, because I was kind of liking what Angel Studios did before that. That was a major forced error. I love to see a fall. I love to see the fall of Guns DCU. They attached the audience, and they attacked. It says attached, but attacked the audience, and we said no thanks. Supergirl is just Guns' wife. Insert. Hail to the Fellowship. Yep. Well said, Sunday. Thank you for the $5. Pardon me. Is this the Angry Joe show? No, it's the Gregarious Gary show. People like Joe don't understand what pattern recognition is. No, they don't. Or more importantly, they pretend not to. Everyone in our sphere, and that's in quotes, knows the signs of when a movie is going to be trash. Hi, King Feanor, Alpha Chad for $5. Hail, brother. Absolutely. Absolutely. Supergirl was the most predictable failure of the year. Supergirl is worse than The Bride. And The Bride is fucking shit. I would say do the Justice Lords. Basically, it's the Justice League took over the world and became dictator overlords after President Luthor Flash in the face with a shotgun. But Gunn doesn't have the balls nor talent. He's not the right guy for the job. Colonel Arnold. We have said that many times. He is not the right guy for the job. All right. And then we have Raymond Ham for 20 says, it's been said before and will be said again. DCU, MCU, Star Trek, Star Wars need to be put in the vault for at least a decade. Agreed. Then again, a decade from now, we'll still have millennials and Gen Z writing. Maybe just put in the vault. I mean, I think nothing exposes what's happened to the comic industry and how bad it is more than its success. Its biggest success right now is Absolute Batman. Admittedly, I've only read one issue. Somebody was kind enough to send me the first 16 of Absolute Batman. Didn't exactly grab me, but it's just, it's like a Warren Ellis Avatar book. So it's just doing something radically different with Batman on a shock level, but it doesn't really expand the main story. It doesn't help the health of comic books. It's an alternate timeline, and we've seen this happen before with the Ultimate Universe in Marvels, which was very successful, very good, and it didn't last because it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick. In the meantime, I go over to Japan and I see the impact that manga and anime has on their culture, and it's absolutely everywhere. And it's because adults read it, and it's because it's multiple genre. And the same could be said for French comic books, bande dessinée. Razor Fist has done about 3 or 4 videos on the subject. Comic books sell like crazy over there too, and sorry, but the art's better. The art's better, and they still read westerns and fantasy, and like men can read it. By the way, it's still really good if you could, if you get a translated version. But yeah, Ryan, you don't understand. To the leftists, trauma is just another excuse to be an awful person and never change. I think he does understand that, Dead Scene. I think he absolutely understands that, but thank you. Gary is that man. Sorry. Gary is that man. Amos in The Expanse, Southeastern Kaiju. Amos is a great character. VJ the Vigilant for $9.99. Aunt May said, there's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble, and lets us die with pride, even if it means giving up
what we want the most, including our dreams. My question is, did she ever use super hearing? No. She did use X-ray vision later, but she forgot to use it earlier in the film. Thanks for keeping it real. Love from Detroit. Hail. CFN Rambo for $2. Let Gunn direct a movie like Hancock. Stay the fuck away from Superman. Superman is a Boy Scout. That's exactly what people like about Superman. Jacob, you're right. I'm convinced James Gunn has disdain for the DC universe. For the traditional part of it, yes. Jay Peso. Dave's Arc for 20 says, hey, Gary, have you played the game Gaia's Snicker? No, I haven't even heard of it. Has anybody in chat heard of that? All right, we're going to switch over to House of the Dragon. Hot D. Little hot D. Get these mopped up. Oh, this is from the first episode. I don't think X-Ray Girl has done the second episode yet, so we'll have to do that Thursday. One moment. Oh, yeah. Feeding the ducks. All right. Ducks in the chat, y'all. We'll keep it on. Fuck it. I'll turn it down a little bit, though. There. It's a little more doable. So we have a few to mop up from the first episode. Sorry, the second episode ones are not left. We had like 40 left. The real Jim McIntyre for $5. Shad, remember what I said about Gundam wing warning about the dangers of allowing liberal white women to have any place in politics? Add House of the Dragon to the list. Yeah, the one thing House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones proves beyond the shadow of a doubt is no woman should be able to plant her ass on the Iron Throne. It's always ended in disaster. The Book of Grudges for $5. At this point, I don't care with which faction wins so long as Alicent and Rhaenyra lose. Well, I mean, spoilers, they do, unless they change it completely. Griff Nizzle for 20. I have the heart and mind of a king, said right after having the most woman of temper tantrums. I know is a terrible scene. Dakota Stanton for $5. This is my Nettles is better than Rhaenyra, sorry. On side note, Sheep Stealer's underbite makes him my second favorite dragon design after Caraxes. Sheep Stealer looks great. Like all the dragons, like no joke, look fucking amazing. And they all look distinctly different. And a lot of time and care has gone into them. And I wish that much time and care went into the storytelling. And because this features women, HBO and Warner Brothers felt compelled to have a woman on the staff, and she's the thing bringing it down. Sarah Hess, as the writer, all her episodes have major problems, and the next two, this one and next week, are written by her, and this one was just dumb. And worst part is, unlike with the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, where you watch that and you're like, oh, this was written and directed by some women and I can't fucking tell. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. This episode, there was lines in there. It's like, oh, this is written by a woman. 100%. For one, House of the Dragon in season 1 was a little better at adapting the language of Westeros, right? So even in the first 4 seasons, when they had all of George's dialogue and they adapted it properly, I'm talking about the stuff outside of what George has written. They're more consistent in House of the Dragon. That's gone now. Because there's a scene where Daemon is talking to the White Worm and she goes, well, it's not all about you, Daemon. It's like, you know what? Nobody would say that in fantasy, and nobody would say that in the Middle Ages. And it's like, and it was such a fucking, and it was all set up so a woman could tell a man, it's not all about you. That's what a woman would say now. Okay, Start, keeping an open mind. What do you say? Andy, and I was keeping an open mind after season 1. I'm like, okay, you know, a little disappointing. But now we're starting to get like Blood and Cheese was disappointing. And unfortunately, I can't unread the story. So I know what they've changed now. So I know that they'll have to have a completely different ending. Felt unfocused. Not just the camera, messy pace. Yapping Tom, you're correct. Eric K said they are late because they chat like schoolgirls. Who, us? Yes. Blue-eyed Scorpio for $1.99. Glad I got some hot D with my Snyder busted lens blur. There's a little bit of that. Minnie Galen for $5 says hot D season 3 episode 1 mommy issues. Well, there you go. You can't live in a title or drink it. Ulf, the Dragon Lord. Yep. That's true. Straight out of Flea Bottom. Where is Mixtape, you coward? You made a blood oath. It's on this channel right now. You can go watch it. Super off topic, but congrats on becoming a dad, Ryan. A reliable source just told me that Brie Larson is pregnant. I'm friends with her grandparents. Right? Oh, that's what Ryan's been worried about. I didn't even think about it. He knocked up Brie. Well, congratulations, Ryan. Lock it down, baby. Let Gunn direct a movie. Oh, I read that one. Okay, so we're back to FNT. So we finished up House of Dragon episode 1. We'll get episode 2 on Thursday. Hey, Gary, have you played I read that one too. Damn it. Clem was evil because he likes blades like Shad. Popcorn buckets made 3 times the money of the movie. It's a snarky DM. Yeah. Hey, Supergirl made its box office back in popcorn buckets, bro. Does Gary have X-Ray Girl in a dungeon? Hail FNT and happy Pride Month, Meek, to you and Hot Dude. I gotta say, let's be real. Let's call it like it is. Because it got so bad. Pride Month feels a little muted this year like it did last year, doesn't it? Like it's still there. Pride Month used to be Pride Weekend. And it should go back to Pride Weekend. And it should be what it was before. You go to the gay neighborhoods, do their gay shit in the gay neighborhoods. It's free country, whatever. Stay the fuck away from kids. Now, I've also told this story before, and I'll tell it again. The one and only Pride Parade I attended was in 2004 because Ian McKellen was the grand poobah of the parade because he's gay. And the first people who march up are NAMBLA, who were completely welcome there in 2004. They're not now because they got backlash. But NAMBLA, North American Man Boy Love Association or something, MAPS, pedos. who have been trying to become part of the alphabet community for a long time. And a lot of the alphabet community is against it, but some are for it. And that's what I'm like, I'm out. Peace out. It's either that or I'm going to fucking jail. North American Marlon Brando Lookalike Association. Yes. Oh, I made a terrible mistake. They were kind of fat and degenerate. Although Marlon Brando, I mean the same thing, Melvin. One of Hollywood's biggest degenerates ever. Why do you think he had an island, Melvin? You know why. I don't need to tell you why. You're an intelligent person. Hey, all the One Piece remakes coming out in February. It's going to be 1,100 episodes, but it's not going to be 1,100 episodes. About 300 going at the manga's pace. One Piece fans are eating well. That's if Netflix sticks with it, Andrew McCarty. But yeah, happy 17th birthday, Riley Faith. Who's that? All Might is a better. Is that like your daughter or something? Happy birthday, by the way. All Might is better Superman written by a Japanese guy. Okay. Thank you, Robert Hayes. Simon Shepsky for 29 PLNs, Martian pesos. Why are none of you guys concerned about X-Ray Girl being held in a nice detention center? Or is it Gary's dungeon? I don't know what you're talking about. BJ Bull for $5. Kara missed it because there is no such thing as a green star. Thermal spectrum does not work that way. I thought green was stupid. It is stupid. Honestly, I didn't look at this. I didn't think about that part, but it's comic book, so you can make it up whatever you want. It's canonical. The whole point is it's stupid. And don't throw out the green sun is canonical when they won't say truth, justice, and the American way. You can just fuck off with that argument. How long before they use pink kryptonite? Some might argue they already have with Jonathan Kent's boyfriend. They did power scaling better in Superman versus Aliens. The comic? It's a good comic. Yeah. Could not care less about Supergirl's fake take on Citizen Vigilante. Was well thought out and presented. I hated him for like 30 minutes and then subscribed. Citizen Vigilante is a Uwe Boll movie. I think it's his best. I liked it. There was just a weird, unnecessary scene, but I liked it. It's brutal. It's brutal. That's what I liked about it. Watching X-Ray Girl's facial expressions while Ryan goes off on Supergirl is ruining her hostage ransom video. Supergirl, the author's barely disguised fetishes. Thank you, Byrne. That's true. The He-Man movie is a fun movie. I liked it. It's not woke at all, but they do make Adam into a bit of a pussy. I liked He-Man better than Supergirl. I saw the movie via phone. The movie was garbage. Says Kingdom Hearts Gamer. I saw it in the theater. A sun lamp could have solved Supergirl's problems. Eric K. I had Angry Joe on about 6 years ago while she was feeding our firstborn. Okay, I'm going to read that again. Ryan Crawford, $4.99. I had Angry Joe on about 6 years ago while she was feeding our firstborn. She said, turn the bullocks off. She even knew back then. Okay, your wife. All right. Angry Joe has devolved into a locale at this point. Yeah. Yes. Humility is kind of an important thing. You just got to go, I got it wrong. Whoops. When a movie is produced by James Gunn and based on a Tom King work, utter failure is the best it could do. Yes, Snarky. This was the most predictable failure this year. Like, without a doubt. Beans on toast should be without butter. Never mix butter with Heinz beans. Az is wrong there. Add chili peppers by all means, but for fuck's sake, Az. Redmond, $7.90 for $5. GTA 6 made $3 billion in pre-sales? Or GTA 5? No. That's insane. No way. What? No. Unconfirmed reports indicate that GTA 6 generated over $3 billion in revenue from approximately 39 million pre-orders within the first 24 hours. Some analysts suggest the game earned $1 billion in just first hour of pre-order availability, driven by strong demand for both the standard and ultimate editions. Wow. $1 billion in the first hour. Holy shit. That's impressive. It generated more money than the highest grossing film of all time, even without adjusting for inflation, in pre-sales. Wow. That is insane. I'm Dave, number 2A, man calling for gun control. The unpleasant blind guy. Super Shit, the sequel. The Reckoning. That's what this is. I hated the dog in Supergirl, and Crypto was annoying too. Oh. Ho! Walter Einstein Frog. Roman Walker. You're harassing women, you Andrew Tate supporters. Phil Mitchell's Fist for $5. I look forward to this more than House of the Dragon episode Sunday. Hail. Captain JPS for $2. Gary Late, Jeremy Gay, tax. Thank you. Roman Walker for $1.99. This thumbnail, it's not funny. You're being bullies. It's really fucking funny. Monster Huntress Room for $1.99. Dan Vask looks like a skinny Angry Joe now. Colin Mathis for $5. Longtime listener, third time caller. Wanted to update you on the TRX hunt. Also, Hale Clarkson, fuck cancer. Dirty Weaker is gifted one Rumble membership. The summer of movies are slop, but we are only 5 months away from reminding Shad that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Whoa, we're halfway there. Whoa. Without a prayer, Hale 199. Fuck off. Brown for $10 says could not care less about Supergirl. Fake's take on Citizen Vigilante was well thought out and presented. I hated him for like 30 minutes and then subscribed. PGMD for $5 gifted one Rumble membership. And has anyone seen The Furious? Garrett has seen The Furious and he liked it a lot. And I will see it soon. Let's get to the member. Hail, Gary, my flaming horse of delinquency. That's me. Is where I left that video. What hot garbage that was. Take a look at J. Scott Campbell's cover for Spider-Man 1000. Okay. Let's take a look. Waiting for it to come up. No, that's not it. There it is. It's all right. What was the... Hang on. AMS 700 cover. No. Amazing Spider-Man. I really like the cover for 700. So here we go. I sold a shit ton of 700. My God, I ordered for my little store. I ordered to get the special variants. I ordered, believe it was 3,500 copies, and I sold out, which is unheard of. Like a big order for me would be like 100 copies, just to give you an idea. So this is J. Scott Campbell's. It's not bad. I mean, it's cool. I think this one's better. This is 700. And it's just a, and I don't know if I can zoom in. I can't. So it's done with other comic art, and it's fucking fantastic. Love that cover. But yeah, I'm not even going to pick up 1,000. Unfortunately, because fuck Marvel. Gary, thank you for the Nooner streams. They get us through the day. Side note, thank you for sacrificing your sanity for our entertainment playing mixtape. That was rough, and I have to finish it. But Saint Sumerian, thank you. Thank you for supporting. You need a video on rise and fall of James Gunn. Let's have him finish the fall, and that will happen. Has Millie Alcock made any comments since the premiere of Supergirl? Also, which movies besides The Odyssey are going to be worse than Supergirl? I don't know if Odyssey is going to be worse than Supergirl. Mark of Reality. I don't know. Which movies could be worse coming down the pike? I don't know. That's going to be tough. That's a low fucking bar. But you give Hollywood 6 months and they'll find a way. Not going to see Supergirl 3 times, says Jimmy, the singing drummer. Good. Dan Vass says, how dare you stream during Brazil's game? Just kidding. Hope Japan wins. Oh, look at you, traitorous bastard. Check James Gunn's Supergirl numbers if you haven't already. Weekend earnings dropped to 30. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's see. I don't care about Taylor Swift sweating. Hollywood Reporter still has it at 38. I believe. Did you see that on Twitter, Liddy Greenmaster? I wouldn't be shocked. Let's go to Twitter. I wouldn't be shocked. I haven't found anything, but I wouldn't be shocked. Thank you, Lady Greymaster. WG Actual has gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships. Hail, brother. Thank you. CB Epic has become a new member. And Ball Gag Love Song. Inflation Bros conversation still makes me laugh. It's one of the most hilarious things Jeremy's ever said. Like, without a doubt. God, it's getting hot up here. We got a heat wave today. It's feeling like Texas. All right, that's going to wrap it up, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, I guess it's down to 37.1 million opening, not 38 million. And that might go down even more because the real numbers, I mean, they're still estimates, but they'll be more rock solid tomorrow. They'll be more rock solid tomorrow. So, hey, thanks to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat donation. You help keep the lights on. Thanks to everybody participating. Be back on the Real BBC tomorrow. And I just want you to have a great day. Who's streaming right now? Who's streaming? Let's see. Oh, I'm streaming. Besides me. Anybody streaming? What the fuck, guys? Mahler's playing Resident Evil 2. Mahler's playing. I love that and everything, but these streams entertain me later. All right. Take care, everyone. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.